Hello guys, my name is Paul, and if you're interested, I'm going to do a bit of a playthrough of Infinifactory. Now, I've played it a bit. It is an absolutely terrific game. There is no doubt about that. This game is absolutely brilliant. It's by the guys who did Space Chem. It is a fantastic game. So I've played it a bit. If you're looking for a playthrough where someone is going to, click on all the corpses and do all that, and fumble around and try and solve the puzzles in terrible ways, then this probably isn't the stream or the video for you. I've played it a bit before. I have a kind of idea what I'm doing, so hopefully it shouldn't be awful. This is going to be by no means the best, the most expert or anything like that. The definitive versions of every puzzle. No, not here. It's a bit of fun. So if you want to see a playthrough of Infinifactory, slightly more competent than some of the ones on YouTube, which are quite amusing, but can be a bit, why isn't he doing that? So anyway, you could have a watch of this. So I've got to skip through the first intro scene. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't played it. I'm going to kind of leave the story out of this, concentrate on it as a puzzle game. Although the story is fantastic, it's very good. Okay, so puzzle training routine 1. Here we go. So the basics of the game are as follows. Blocks get produced at various locations. So we have 3 block producers here, 1, 2 and 3. And then they get eaten, or you have to deliver them to certain places. So 1, 2 and 3. And as you can see, these blocks are all slightly different. That's got a kind of black square, that's a grey block, and that's more of, well, it's a grey black square, but it's a filled square. So you've got to get the right block to the right place. And they come out of there. So the first one is the simplest. This is the plain block. You can see it here. If I press R, it runs. If I press T, it pauses. And if I press R again, it resets. So you can see these ones need to go there. So let's do that. Reset the puzzle. So I've got my conveyor belt selected down the bottom left hand side. I can left click, drag it, and make a line of conveyor belts like that. So, it's not like Minecraft. You can build, but you can't directly, I suppose that's one thing, you can't directly interact with the environment yourself. You don't chip away bits, you can't destroy anything in the game, and when you press R and let it run, you're just an observer. You can't, play with the blocks or move them around yourself. You have to sort of create the factory to solve the problem. So, as we can see, I'll pause it. These are going in here fine. These are just piling up and being useless. So, let's deal with them. So, this one needs to get over there. So, I'm going to use the conveyor belt away from the wall, and you notice now this is up. There's a gap of 2 blocks here. It's a Minecraft voxely type world. So everything is either a block or not a block, if you know what I mean. There's no half block positioning or exact sort of, I keep dragging in. This is very useful, the way you can just drag. Now, delete a block, right click, put it in there. So, and as long as a platform is supported into a solid object at some stage, it works. So if I start that, it works. But if this was not connected here, it drops. So there is kind of, it doesn't sort of fully work, but things have to be connected to something solid. So once they're connected to things, they stay connected. And if they're not connected to something solid at the start, they will just drop into the level. I mean, you might be able to find uses for that. I don't know. There are some tricky uses with cabling, for example, but not needed here. So, there we go. And then bring this over. And run him in. So again, it should be obvious when a block gets to the end and it can't do anything. Oh, hello. Now, that's a good thing. So, if a block has an orientation, and these ones obviously do, you can hover over them and Press Q and E, default keyboards, to spin them around to fix stupid things like that. So off we go again. As you can see here, this is counting down. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One of these ones obviously isn't finished. Now, at the end of each level, we'll just talk about this for a second, you get a score. Now, your first go through, you probably should be, there will be a peak. So basically what this is, lower is better in all these, despite the fact they're called scores, and you might think having a higher score is better. No. So cycle is how many ticks the game has taken. And as far as I know, and I could be wrong on this, a tick is the time it takes for a standard conveyor to move a block 1 square. That's like a game cycle or a game tick. Nah, maybe that's wrong, but that's what I think it. But anyway, whether it is or not, it's a measure of the time taken from when the level started. Footprints are how much, if you look down on the map, you're using. And blocks is the total blocks that you've used, a block count, but they don't count some blocks. Well, one block in particular, the standard platform, which we don't have at the moment. So a lot of people seem to get confused by this. Like at the end of each level, there are going to be 3 solution spaces. And really, if you want to get a low cycle score, that's not going to be the same solution to give you a low footprint or block score. So, in many ways, each of these has at least 3, if not 4. I mean, like what I call a simple, obvious solution is what you'd probably build first. Something which just works, looks kind of the way you might build it in the real world, isn't relying on any game trickery or silliness for it to actually work. And that would be your first solution through the game, and that probably should sit in one of these long bars if you've done a reasonable job of that. But it doesn't mean a lot, because then other players have gone and tried to get extreme solutions. So, for example, just to finish off this level, we'll show you what I'm talking about, and we'll try and drop the block count down. So, to drop the block counts down, what you do is you rely on the fact that blocks will push themselves. It'll be much slower. Well, maybe not, but sorry, we can't do this here because actually we don't currently have a platform block. But anyway, point is, a bit later you'll be able to revisit these levels with a couple of more blocks and make other attempts at them. Anyway, okay, that's the end of episode 1. Thanks for watching. If you've managed to stay this long, hopefully the others will be coming out fairly quickly. Thanks for watching. Bye now.